Chukwudi's ordinary life. A wide view of the Nigerian village, showing mud brick houses with thatched roofs, surrounded by lush greenery. The dusty village square with market stalls and palm trees swaying gently is visible. The vibrant village square, bustling with activity. Colorful stalls display fruits and vegetables, while villagers laugh and chatter, creating a lively atmosphere. A stall overflowing with ripe mangoes, bananas, and pineapples, the colors vivid under the sunlight. A Chukudio Kafur stands near a fruit stall, dressed in simple attire, casually interacting with a vendor. His strong jawline and neat haircut contrast with his relaxed demeanor. From Chukwudi Okafor's perspective, he observes two villagers who are deep in conversation, standing near a colorful market stall. Chukwudi Okafor's face, calm and approachable, his dark brown eyes scanning the surroundings subtly, hinting at a hidden intensity. A group of children runs past at Chukwudi Okafor, laughing and playing, their movement adding to the lively atmosphere of the square. Seen from Achukudi Okafor's point of view, a group of villagers engages in animated conversation near a stall, their gestures lively. Achukudi Okafor's hands rest casually on the edge of the stall, his fingers lightly tapping on the wooden surface. Chukudi Okafor's feet on the dirt path, shifting slightly as if restless, a hint of tension beneath his composed exterior. An old woman seated under a large umbrella at a nearby stall, her weathered hands sorting through a basket of yams, providing a glimpse of village life. Chukudi Okafor turns his head slightly, his gaze lingering on the old woman for a moment before scanning the market square again. The market square capturing the harmony of the villagers' lives with Chukudi Okafor subtly blending into the background. Amaranwosu walks through the market, her long curly black hair catching the sunlight. She carries a woven basket filled with fresh produce and exchanges polite smiles with the vendors. Chukudi Okafor and Amaranwosu stand together near a market stall. Chukwudi Okafor gestures animatedly while Amaranwosu listens intently, her basket resting against her hip. Amaranwosu's face, her bright brown eyes focused on Chukwudi Okafor, her expression warm yet with a subtle hint of curiosity. Amaranwosu sits on a wooden chair near a small table, her figure framed by the warm light of an oil lamp. She leans forward, her eyes filled with worry. The Betrayal. A wide view of the lavish living room with white marble floors, ornate wooden furniture, and large windows draped in golden curtains. A large chandelier casts a warm glow. A family portrait on the wall, depicting Uncle Chijoke Okafor with a warm smile, flanked by family members, emphasizing the family bond. Chukwudi Okafor stands near a luxurious armchair, his posture relaxed, hands clasped in front of him, gazing at Uncle Chijoki Okafor with a concerned expression. Uncle Chijoki Okafor sits on the armchair, his stout figure leaning back looking up at Chukwudi Okafor with a mixture of trust and unease. First-person point of view from Uncle Chijoki Okafor looking up at Chukwudi Okafor standing over him, his face partially shadowed by the chandelier's light. Uncle Chijoke Okafor raises his hand pointing directly at Chukwudi Okafor, his expression a mix of anger and betrayal. Chukwudi Okafor's face is frozen in shock, his dark brown eyes wide, his strong jawline is clenched tightly. Amaranwosu rises from her chair, her slender build framed by the traditional decorations in the background. Her expression changes to one of realization and determination. A traditional mask hanging on the wall, its carved features illuminated by the lamp's glow. The mask's expression appears stern and foreboding. Amara Nwosu turns away from the window, her long, curly black hair swaying slightly, her worried eyes locking onto Chukwudi Okafor. Chukwudi Okafor turns towards the doorway, his athletic build silhouetted against the dim light. His posture stiffens as he takes a deep breath as he walks toward the polished wooden table. His steps deliberate, his gaze briefly flickering to the smartphone. Wide view of the living room, with at Chukwudi Okafor near the table, at Amara Nwosu near the window, and at Uncle Chijoke Okafor seated in the armchair. First person point of view from at Amara Nwosu looking at Chukwudi Okafor standing near the table, his posture tense, his hand resting on the edge, her bright brown eyes are fixed on Chukwudi Okafor, a mix of anger and disbelief on her face. A close-up of the ransom note draft on the smartphone screen. The family home from outside, the soft light of the oil lamps visible through the windows. The garden appears calm and serene, contrasting the tension inside. The kidnapping, a dense forest with towering trees and thick underbrush. Dappled sunlight filters through the canopy, casting shadows on the ground covered with fallen leaves and twigs. Chukwudi Okafor, dressed in dark clothing, crouches behind the tree, his gaze focused intently ahead. His hands grip a thick rope tightly. Uncle Chijoke Okafor, wearing a traditional Nigerian outfit, walks along a narrow forest path. A basket filled with market goods is slung over his arm. He looks ahead with a calm expression. First person point of view, looking through the thick underbrush. Uncle Chijoke Okafor is seen walking along the path, unaware of the looming danger. Chukwudi Okafor and two other gang members leap out from the underbrush, their faces partly obscured by scarves. They rush toward at Uncle Chijoke Okafor, ropes and blindfolds in hand. Uncle Chijoke Okafor struggles against the gang members. His arms are held tightly by two men as a Chukwudi Okafor ties a blindfold over his eyes. A black van is parked on a dirt road amidst the forest. Its back doors are open, revealing an empty, dimly lit interior. Chukwudi Okafor and the gang drag Okafor toward the van. His hands are bound and he stumbles on the uneven ground. The back of the van slams shut, revealing Chukwudi Okafor's determined face as he secures the latch. The forest looms ominously in the background. The forest path is now empty, with only a few scattered leaves and a faint footprint trail left behind. The atmosphere is heavy with tension, confrontation with Amara, a wide view of the cozy living room, showcasing traditional Nigerian art on the walls, a comfortable sofa, and a coffee table. Dim lighting casts shadows, creating a tense atmosphere. Amara Nwosu sits on the edge of the sofa, her posture tense, hands gripping her knees. She looks at Chukwudi Okafor, her gaze sharp and questioning. Chukwudi Okafor stands near the living room window, his back slightly turned to Amara Nwosu. His posture is rigid and his hands are clenched into fists. Amara Nwosu's face, her bright brown eyes filled with suspicion and determination, her lips slightly parted as if about to speak. Chukwudi Okafor's face, his dark brown eyes darting nervously, a bead of sweat visible on his temple. Heroism at Amara Nwosu stands near a cluttered desk, leaning slightly forward, her expression serious and determined. She clutches a folded piece of paper tightly in her right hand, looking at an officer seated behind the desk. An insert of a newspaper page held by a villager. The headline reads, "Most Wanted Criminal Arrested." with a photo of Chukwudi Okafor, the folded piece of paper in Amaranwosu's hand, now slightly crumpled from her tight grip. Amaranwosu is seated at the same desk, leaning forward slightly as she speaks with the officer. Her braid falls over her shoulder, and her eyes are focused and resolute. The police officer's notepad showing a partially written note detailing Chukwudi Okafor's operations. The handwriting is neat but hurried. The marked location on the map showing a red circle around a specific area with handwritten notes beside it. Several police officers gear up near a rack of equipment, strapping on bulletproof vests and checking their weapons. The room is filled with a sense of urgency. Chukwudi Okafor stands in the center of the frame, his hands raised in surrender. His expression is a mix of shock and resignation. Chukwudi Okafor's face, his jaw clenched and eyes glaring defiantly, illuminated by the red and blue flashing lights. Chukwudi Okafor and his gang are intercepted in a dimly lit alley. Police cars with flashing lights block both ends, and officers surround the gang with weapons drawn. A police officer cuffs Chukwudi Okafor's hands behind his back. The officer's face is stern and focused. The gang being led into the police station in handcuffs, surrounded by officers. The station's fluorescent lighting reflects off the polished floor. Amaranwosu watches from a distance, standing near the entrance of the police station. Her posture is upright, with her arms crossed and a faint look of relief on her face. A wanted poster on the station's bulletin board with Chukwudi Okafor's face prominently displayed. A bold red stamp across it reads, "Captured." The vibrant village market square, filled with colorful stalls and bustling villagers under the bright midday sunlight. The atmosphere is tense, with groups of villagers gathering to watch. Chukwudi Okafor is led by two uniformed police officers through the market square. His hands are handcuffed in front of him, and his head is slightly bowed, avoiding the villagers' eyes. Amaranwosu, standing at the edge of the crowd, her face is a mixture of determination and sadness, her gaze fixed on Chukwudi Okafor, standing in the crowd, his face stern and unforgiving. His arms are crossed over his chest, and he stands slightly apart from the others.